Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. This is a special weekend edition where we bring up all the comments that have been shared across all of the videos we have posted within the last 7 days and read them, acknowledging the fact that they took out the time to not only subscribed, liked, and then listen to the sometimes very lengthy video, but also took out the time to drop their comments. This is like not only giving them a shout out for the excellent job of paying attention and reacting like we expect every listener to do, but also the fact that they have expressed their, sound opinion and the need for this opinion to be amplified, and acknowledged. So here, this is just for you. Julius stopped by and said Alberta separation idea is dead on arrival. Daniel Smith is basically using that idea as a negotiating tool. Priority Target says Canadians are tired of a small group of elitists in Ottawa deciding for us who our neighbors should be and how our money should be spent without consulting us or considering our grievances. Priority Target. Kennedy says, there will certainly be some difficult choices and conversations to be made about this. How will the Indigenous leaders react to this? Imagine the startup costs involved and also the handling of social and pension plans like CPP. Brad stopped by to comment that Alberta needs to achieve independence for several reasons. The federal government is out of control and irresponsible. The federal government's out of control and irresponsible immigration policies that are hurting Canada. The forced repression of Alberta's natural resources is also out of control. Brain White stopped and commented, the Alberta independent movement is nothing new. Long before Pierre Trudeau brought it to the forefront with his national energy policy in 1980, there was much discontent in Alberta as to the treatment Eastern Canada and Ottawa was forcing upon Albertans. This current action by the fed-up Albertans just proves how slow to anger Albertans can be. But ask any provincial political party that was trusted and then betrayed Alberta, and you will see that Albertans don't give second chances to those who screw us over. This is one of those times. Canada has nothing substantive to offer that we cannot better provide for ourselves. I see this referendum succeeding and the dismantling of Canada. The only hope for Canada's resurrection lies with Alberta as the cornerstone of a new and great union of independent Canadian states. As the Republic of the United States of Canada, a great constitutional republic ruled by the people for the people. That's a strong one there by Brain White. Now, Javelin Blue says, I want the legalization of military weaponry and a constitution that protects my rights. I want out from under the shackles of Ottawa. Javelin Blue. Now, Travis stopped by to say, Alberta's independent. Let's go. Let's go. Bye-bye, Canada. I can't wait to vote yes to separate from Canada. And if you who was watching from Toronto, says from Ontario, wrote, watching from Ontario. Sorry, the music was too loud and Apple earbuds had a problem with some of your transitions. After I figured out I needed to put both earbuds in and turn on noise cancellation, I think you did a good job explaining it. Thank you at SW123. At Albertan First also stopped to comment saying, if you love your children and care for your own advancement and the well-being of your future generations, please consider voting for Alberta's independence. They will try lie to you because they don't want to lose their corruption. They want to continue to steal from us. Be strong, be brave. Coward never changed anything. Peace. Wayne stopped to say Alberta needs to separate ASAP and be rid of the lying Liberal government and the WEF puppets, clown, carny, pure communism and evil. Brad Kuda stopped to comment, why is it not one politician or community leader will debate the pros and cons of independence with anyone from the Alberta Prosperity Project? Keith Wilson openly challenged Thomas Lukaszuk with a left-leaning moderator. The silence speaks volume. Independence is the clear, more prosperous and freedom path. At Colpen stopped to comment, everyone I know except one person is voting to have Alberta separate from Canada. I'm voting to leave Canada. He got 11 likes. Now at Cameron McKay stopped to comment, once Alberta separates, removes income tax, promotes the private sector, international investment will flood into Alberta. Lukaszuk's generalities fails to address the fact that Albertans are fleeced by Ottawa to the tune of 35 billion per annum, more than we receive back from Ottawa. He avoids the political reality that Central Canada controls the House of Commons, the Senate, the Cabinet, and the Supreme Court, which of course means that Albertans' votes are meaningless in any federal election because the decision has been made by the time Ontario polls closes. And he forgets to mention that the Constitution is so drafted to ensure that any amendment to address regional grievances is not possible. Other than that, Lukaszuk's sentiment-driven is fantastic for the rational segment of the electorate. We will push for independence so that we can preserve our customs, traditions, and belief systems as proud Western Canadians. The Canada which Lukaszuk keeps fantasizing about disappeared a long time ago when Central Canada decided to elect Pierre Elliott Trudeau. At Robert Watson stopped to comment, there is no use of the word freedom. There is no use of the word freedom. That is why we want to leave Canada. We do not want to have all the limitations on speech and thoughts that Canada wants. We do not want to control our sister provinces, nor do we want them controlling us. We want to develop our resources, agriculture, technology, healthcare, education, and energy so that we can live a good life with our families, communities, regions, and republic under a constitution that avoids the errors and pitfalls of Canada and USA constitution and incorporates what is good from those documents. We want what God intended for all of mankind: freedom, responsibility, and empathy. That is from Robert Watson. Now, insufferable redneck stopped also by to comment that I am shocked to have to say I agree with most of what Lukaszuk points out. I don't see them as reason for Alberta to stay, but as reasons Canada needs Alberta to stay. I even agree with the sentiment that the secessionist movement shouldn't be used as a bargaining chip or be weaponized. This is what Quebec has been doing, not Alberta. We want out, no weaponizing, and the only bargaining is for what we take with us and what we leave behind. Now, Doug stopped by also to comment that, did you vote Liberal or Conservatives? Answer the question. I'll say you voted Liberals, 99% certain of it. Let Alberta figure it out. You know the one who built the province, not some guy sitting on a couch. Doug, thank you for your comment. From at Eve Owusu. Like something else in life, once you determine a thing is not good and you want better, what if it fails is not the right mentality? What if that business you want to start fails? What if immigration from Africa to Canada fails? Yet we came. Truth is, Canada is a terrible country and a sinking ship that is only going to get worse with mass immigration, censorship, and green energy scam nonsense. Alberta needs to get out now. They are attacking Christians, saying certain chapters of the Bible are hate speech. Very soon, there will be no freedom as Carnegie gets us closer and closer to communism. All those questions will be answered in the negotiations, but vote to get out first. That's from Eva. This is from at TN Nova. And she drops the comment saying, when you hear your grandparents speak of the unjust treatment within Alberta and Saskatchewan, and now having worked like a slave for over 45 years in this province, only to watch our kids repeat the same life with less hope of owning a home or not offending someone who doesn't approve of our Western values, our Christian values, our Western culture, our Christian values, and the building of the West. The natives have every right to stay within their treaties or be part of Alberta. When you watch generations pass where we are nothing more than slaves to the rest of this country, it's long overdue to break free of these chains. WFO, which too, dropped their comment saying, I was hoping there would be some answers to these questions. Keith Wilson is one of Canada's top constitutional lawyers, and he answers many of these questions clearly. I'd suggest looking into his YouTube videos. And just to say, I have, listened to his video about 20-something minutes, more than 3 times now. I mean, at least more than 3 times, and he did a great job. And of course. But there were still a lot of unanswered questions which we raised in our last videos. So yeah, these are some of the comments. We just wanted to take out this time to thank those who stopped by to watch the video, engaged with the content, and respectfully share their opinion. And I believe weekend special segments should be dedicated to those who, took out those precious times in these very tense moments where opinions, are strongly expressed. You have, displayed a lot of maturity, and respect in how you express your comments. So we just wanted to amplify this voice so that the rest of the world will know what some of us are thinking. We just don't want to leave any voice to the footnotes of history. We want every voice, that is echoed in these chambers to echo around the world, to remain in the sands of time, that their voices were heard and it meant something to the rest of the world. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.